Next tip. Periodically, the wife and I, oh, there's another straw. I gotta put that with the others. Periodically, the wife and I go out to eat, and we always have takeaway because they serve us twice as much as we need to eat or as we want to eat. And when they give us takeaway, they always bring us plastic knives, forks, and spoons. Well, what good are these? All right, well, the spoons and the knives, Gary Brinker touched on it, and he's absolutely right. You can use these to spray your colors on and keep them as samples. The ones you like, the ones you want to repeat, you can keep them as samples. And that way you can label them and you'll know exactly what paint you want to use or what mixture of paint. But there's another reason that he didn't touch on. You spray this with the primer you're going to use. I'm going to prime this entire ship with one primer. And in the end, I'm going to use probably Tamiya paints, most likely for the most part. I hope that's all I use, because I don't want to mix my paints. That's my point. But I don't want a Tamiya paint eating the primer off. So I have a lot of these spoons with the primer on them. They're lined up, stuck in that same styrofoam I showed you with the alligator clips on them. And I can pull one out. I can spray the particular paint I want to use on it. I can airbrush a mixture of paints that I want to use. And if they eat the primer off, then I have a problem. I either can't use that paint, or the next model I do, not that one, but the next one I do, I'll use a different primer and try to keep them copacetic. These are good to practice with. They're free. I don't save the bag. I'll probably use the napkin. It's got some salt and pepper in it. Who knows? Might be able to take that pepper, put a bunch of these little paper pepper things, just dump them out and mix them in some deck paint, put them on the deck and make it a non-skid. I don't know. I've never done that. Think about it. Anything can work. Everything can work if you think about it. Now, let's talk cardstock. I mentioned cardstock. I didn't use the term cardstock. But for the cardstock buildings like this, I can buy a big old pack of cardstock for not too much. But sometimes I don't want to print on cardstock. I just want to go ahead and make a building and paint it and cover it with stuff, a brick pattern, whatever. So I don't need a good quality cardstock. Well, I went to a yard sale and a lady was selling fine art. Okay, really quality fine art. Now these are cheap prints, okay, but they're on a good heavy cardstock. And she wanted, well, these three she wanted a nickel for. Okay, the hard bargainer I am, I said, well, would you take 3 cents, a penny a page, penny a page? And she said, yeah, sure. So I gave her 3 cents and I brought these home. Some people would say that's a waste of 3 cents. No, once you cut these up, you shape them, you form them, you turn them into buildings, and you spray paint them. You put in some kind of on the roof, just take some kind of paint tape and lay it across it in layers, make it look like shingles. You can paint it black. You can do anything. I mean, this is material, and it's heavy material, and you need to think about some of your heavier stock material. You don't want to have to go out and buy that. Anywhere you see it, pick it up. I have right here, I take National Geographic magazine, and yearly they send me a binder, and these are folded over in the binder. This is good, heavy cardboard. You can cut this in strips to reinforce the corners on this building. You can put this in there and reinforce the corners. You can strengthen things. It doesn't cost anything. It's hard to get. You can't go out and just buy this very easily. But if you get something like this, you don't need big pieces. You don't need a 10-foot piece. All you need is something like this to cut strips out of that you can use for reinforcement. And it's free. I picked them up from all kinds of places. I don't even know where most of them come from. This is probably the thinnest, but it is a type of cardstock. I think it came out of a shirt board or something that I bought a shirt. Another source, and this is only a fraction of what I've got. The base on the building I just showed you, I went right up the street. We have spent some money over the past 20 years having pictures framed, okay? And I went in there one day and I said, do you have any scrap mat board? I'm building some model buildings and I'd like some mat board, but I don't want to buy big sheets. But if you've got some scrap, I'd work a deal out with you. So she brought me out a stack. The other parts up there, it's about this high total. This is mat board. You can use this to build buildings with. You can use this for all kinds of things. She just handed me that stack and said, here, have a good day. Didn't cost me a penny. This is good modeling material. Free. Didn't cost a thing. So, even on my model of the New Jersey, where I have some areas that I think are a little weak on the hull, I'll cut a strip of this. I'll put it on the inside. I'll glue it as a strengthener, because once this is glued down the length, this is as good as a piece of styrene. It really is. So there are uses. You can come up with uses for stuff. You don't have to throw it in the garbage. Now, if you go back and again and look at Gary Brinker's hints, he hinted about medicine bottles. Well, God only knows I know about medicine bottles. I empty them every week. I've got bags of them. Okay, I take my labels off just as I take the labels off these, because I don't like the distraction of all these labels. And I put my own labels on. Here's one. Dull blades. Now, when you dull one of these blades, you take it out. You have to dispose of it. My suggestion, my hint, is don't dispose of it. Keep a dull blade bottle of some kind. Put it in anything. I've got glass bottles. I've got everything. Put it in anything. Save these. Why? Well, first of all, it's easier to throw this whole bottle of dull blades away someday than it is a single blade in a garbage can, okay? Somebody might get hurt. So my suggestion is keep them in here. That way, someday, you're going to want to scribe some styrene. Rescribe a line that got sanded out. Rescribe or scribe a line that was never there that you think should be there. You don't want to use a sharp edge. You want to use the back edge. So you don't need a sharp blade. Pull a dull one out, put it back in your knife, grab you some plastic. I had some here. Hang on a minute. I thought I had some here. I always try to plan for the. Here we go. That's not it. Well, here's a tiny piece. So let's set up for this so-called demonstration. You can take a piece of styrene, and I'll get you back down here. I know I'm going to flop around, but you know what? I'm lucky to just be here right now. So here we go. You can take a piece of styrene like this, take the back edge down, and you can scribe a line. And you scribe a parallel line. And you can literally make a brick pattern out of this, and it's not a sharp line like you would with the sharp edge. And then you can rub graphite in it. You can rub charcoal in it, and it will give you the pattern of whatever you put in it. You can put washes on it, and you can literally make a brick pattern for the side of a building. It's so you don't necessarily want to get rid of the dull blades. Keep those dull blades. I put them in a medicine bottom I call dull blades. And I don't care if I fill this up. When it's too full to get another in it, then I will tighten this down and throw it in the trash. Or recycle it. We recycle almost everything. So there's a lot to say about doing that. Containers. I keep sour cream containers, large yogurt containers, all kinds of containers. I have right here, sorry if that gets too loud for you, I have right here, I think it was a sour cream container. It's full of sanding sticks. Now, suggestion, don't go out to the internet and buy all sanding sticks. I have some professional hobby small sanding sticks. The rest of these, I go to women's fingernail stores, women's hair stores, and I buy these things. These are polishing sticks. They will take this plastic where I've sanded some stuff on it because I'm cleaning the deck off, and I have a file nail edge, remove ridges, smooth surface, and super shine. That just buffs it all out. And I can pick these up for $1 a piece at a nail store. A lot of these I get, like these, I get them for next to nothing. I mean, literally for pennies. So I pick them up every time I see one. Sometimes they have them by a cash register on sale for a nickel for 2 of them, a nickel for 3 of them. So I keep a bucket full of them, and they're right up here. I know where they are, and I can go get them anytime I want to. So my point is, and this is the tip, try to find a use for things that you typically purchase at a hobby store, and you can get it for 10 cents on the dollar. There's a lot of stuff out there, and this is only the tip of the iceberg. And I know I mentioned the occasional bit of wine and the packaging for my feta cheese. I've got corks. What are these corks for? If I don't have a decent protective cover for one of these sharps, there, it's protected. There's all kinds of uses for these, and I won't even go into them. But corks, I don't save them to put them on a billboard or make a display out of them. I save them because cork is cork, and gotta have a use for it somewhere along the road. I've shown you this before, and everybody knows all about clamps. There's clamps of every shape, form, fashion, size, whatever. My father used to go out to the clothesline and get in the clothespin bag and take my mother's clothespins, turn them around backwards so he could get a tight-fitting, flat-ended clamp for small items. And he wasn't modeling, he was doing all kinds of stuff. All you have to do is just turn it around. And by the way, you can turn it back around and still have a clothespin if you want to use the other end. And there are uses for the other end. So things like that, you just have to keep your eyes open and see what you can find. So anyway, I think that's probably all I'm going to go through right now. And basically what that boils down to is find a use. If you're into recycling like we are, you don't have to send it to a recycle center. You can recycle it yourself. Only it's not called recycling when we do it ourselves, it's called repurposing. So give it a shot, try to repurpose. And now I'm going to give you one more hint, and this is for the guys that, like me, have had some memory issues and brain damage, okay? I had a hard time. Whoops, let me check. God, I hope I didn't blow this whole thing. Give me just 1 second. Outstanding, the microphone's on. That's my biggest problem, is turning this external microphone on. I got serious about doing this correctly, okay? Because I lost a lot of video, and I've lost some since, don't get me wrong. Swallow your pride. Make a sign. Video reminder. You got that? And I started out with 2 lines. One was turn the microphone on, turn the video on. Number 2, I added, or the second group I added because I burned up a lot of batteries because I forgot to turn the camera off and turn the microphone off. This now sits on my table in front of me, and I read it before I start every time. I have to do that. So what's the point of all that? Oh gee, you got a bad memory. No, I've had a stroke. Everybody's had some kind of an issue. I don't care if it's hip replacement, knee replacement, bad hearing, which I've also got, bad eyesight. You need to not sit back and do nothing. Come up with a solution for it so you can keep moving forward, and you can build your ships, you can build your models, you can build your buildings, you can build your layout, you can do whatever you want. Having said that, that's one way to overcome a stroke. I also have bad hearing, but I've got bad eyesight. I wear bifocals. Seriously. My doctor wants to have me in trifocals, and I won't do it. I've already had neck surgery once 10 years ago. I don't like sitting here looking through that lens and looking through it and just dodging the different lenses. My neck gets really sore. But it suddenly occurred to me that third lens was only for the computer. These are my computer glasses. I didn't put them in my bifocals. I had them give me computer glasses because the only time I use them is when I'm on the computer. So they stay over here with the computer. Now, I've got a computer over here now. You might be able to see the corner of the screen over here. I have another computer over here. So what I'm doing, I'm taking these back to the eye doctor, and they make some that have a cord that go around the neck and a magnet right in the middle so you can drop it down. Well, I can look at the computer over here, I can turn around, I can hook them, I can look at this computer. Very convenient. The trick, whatever your problem is, make it convenient for you. Well, what about the other 2 lenses? Well, in the other 2 lenses, my upper lens is a distance lens. I have safety glasses with that in so I can go out and look at everything and not have to worry about it. The bottom one is nearsighted. Well, over here, I don't need the computer glasses. I need that nearsighted lens. So I don't go like that looking through the bottom of the lens, because that, you can imagine how uncomfortable that gets. I went to the eye doctor and I said, instead of, because he'd been talking about getting 3 lenses in one set. I said, no, I want you to go the other direction. I want you to take that bottom lens out and put it in a set of glasses. Everything I do here, I look straight at it now. I don't tilt my head back. I look straight at everything I can do because I had my glasses separated by purpose. And I simply am very comfortable now, right here. Now, if I turn around to look at that computer, I can't see it. If I turn over here to look at that computer, I can't see it. I need my computer glasses. These come off. They stay right here. They don't go anywhere else. I get my computer glasses, and these will be around my neck when I probably next see you, so that I can sit here, I can see that camera, I can see this computer reasonably well. It's a little further away is the only reason. This one I see perfectly. My other screen on this other computer I see perfectly because I have purpose-built glasses. These are things you can do to make what you're doing easier. And in my opinion, if you're doing this life after work thing, you need to you don't want the trouble you might have had when you were at work. This ought to be fun. It ought to be easy. It ought to be more comfortable. So it doesn't matter if you've had hip replacement, get a better chair. If you've had knee replacement, find some kind of better support. Whatever it takes for you to actually enjoy life, because that's what this is about. If you can't enjoy your life after work, then you might as well stay at work. So that's another little tip for you. Just a matter of comfort. So anyway, if there's other things, I've got other things sitting in front of me, but I'll probably cover them in my other videos. But I wanted to get something out just because I felt it's essential for me to go ahead and post another video while I'm still resolving problems with the New Jersey. Quick update on that, very quick. I've worked out the entire bow area and what I'm going to do there, and have already done some of it. I am actually making little tiny parts for it, fabricating them. The stern, I'm fabricating tiny parts out of it. But I'm convinced that this hull on this particular model was not scaled to the New Jersey. I think it was to another battleship, and they just repurposed the molds. I am convinced, beyond convinced, this is not the New Jersey. The stern is incorrect. The bow is incorrect. The general shape is close, but just prior to the Iowa class coming out, it was similar to this. All you had to do was adjust it a little, because that's all the marine architects did. That's all they did. They just they fixed what was there. They didn't create a whole new thing. Well, unfortunately, this model, there's so much that I'm remodeling, and I just gave up on the stern because I found the solution that I wanted to have on it would require so much rework that it just wasn't worth it to me. No one will notice but me. I typically change things that I will notice. In this case, that was such a big remodel that I just said I'm not going to do it. But I have enough proof, enough calculations. The overall length, the width at the beam, and the depth of the ship. I did the math on it, and they are 1 to 350. But then we have this long radius at the stern. That long radius is incorrect. The width at the stern I can prove is incorrect. There are a lot of things about it that are incorrect. I think it was a different battleship hull, model hull. And the truth is, I'll fix what I fix, and I won't fix what I won't fix. But I'm back. My health is improving. I'm getting much better. Still have some issues with the executive part of my brain, but I'm a happy camper right now, and we're going to move on. So I do appreciate you watching my videos. For those of you who have continued to watch or have recently just joined my site, even though I haven't posted in well, 3 months for the last railroad video, and probably 4 or 5 months on the New Jersey. I thank you for staying with me. I do appreciate the number of viewers that I do get. Even I'm not out to get 1 million viewers. I don't care about all that. I just like the community that's out there, and I try my best, and this is another thing I'm behind on besides my modeling. I like to look at everybody's videos, and I feel it necessary to comment and let you know how much I appreciate the fact that you're there and what you're doing. Good job. Thank you, and we'll see you next go around. Bye. I thought I'd add one more little thing here. I had meant to put this on originally, but it just occurred to me. The temperature in this garage, well, in this area of the country, all of the United States has been under intense heat. Large amounts of the population have been under 3-digit Fahrenheit, over 100 day after day. Here it's been 95, but the humidity has been 90%. The garage has been pretty much unbearable, so I haven't been able to work out here for weeks. But at any rate, my wife came up with a solution that I came up with a long time ago but didn't bother to mention because I didn't figure I had a chance. She suggested that we call our heating and air conditioning guy and get a heat pump put in the garage. So tomorrow, guy's coming out to give us an estimate. I may be able to get this garage cooled down enough that I can work out here. That's the primary reason I've not actually been doing much work. At any rate, this video had all kind of tips and hints in it, and I left out a couple. My big one, at least for the people who have them available, make regular trips to the thrift stores. Now, we have a number of thrift stores here. We have one called CARM, the Knoxville Area Rescue Ministries thrift store. People contribute all kinds of stuff to them, and I'd take a trip down there. I just every couple of weeks, just walk through. We've got, of course, the Salvation Army and Goodwill, and we've got AMVETS, and everything that they take in supports our veteran cause, so I use them a lot. But just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, let me show you a couple of things. Okay, first of all, this lamp. It's just a plain lamp, nothing significant, just a single twist. I was in the AMVETS one day, and it was laying there, no bulb in it, and they wanted $4.99 for it. So I got it. It moves around. I mean, it clamps to the table. It's very handy. But for $4.99, you can't beat it. Let me show you another one. Here we go. This one is a tabletop. It's the same kind of mechanism, but it's sitting on a base. I can put those little sticky tabs here that Gary Brinker had talked about using his glue pads. Well, I can use them as notepads the way they're designed, plus, you know, have a place to put my pencils and a few things. But this is handy because I put one of my webcams on the front of it. I can put pictures down below it, and over here on my computer I can push a button and video whatever I'm talking about, and I can use my pointer to point to it on the picture over there. So that could come in handy. Now, that particular webcam, I've got two of them. It's a Logitech webcam. This exact webcam was at CARM the other day. Somebody had put one in there, and they were selling it for $9. Just thought I'd mention that. Somebody may want to use it for YouTube, they may not. They may just want to use a webcam. but $9. You go online, you download all the software. Matter of fact, you buy one now, they don't even give you the software, they just tell you where to go download it. So that's definitely a possibility. There's all kinds of things you can get at the thrift stores. This tripod is an old tripod that I got from my father. He's passed away now, but I've been using it for a couple of years now. One of these was down at Ambets for $7. I mean, you can't beat prices like that. If you need an extra, or if you need one, period, check out your thrift stores. You just might get lucky. Now, you can't go shopping there like you do at a Best Buy or some other store where you decide you want something and you go looking for it and you find it and you buy it. You go to a thrift store, you just have to periodically walk through and see what they have available. But that's just a few of the things that I've been able to pick up at thrift stores. So there you have it. That was my last little tip. And hopefully here very soon I'll be able to get the temperature and the humidity right in this garage so that I can get back to work. Right now I can't get anything to hardly dry. And of course the temperature when it's 95 degrees Fahrenheit and 90% humidity, it's not the temperature as much as it is the humidity. You can't do anything in that humidity. And if you read the labels on spray cans and things like that, most paints don't work well and glues barely work in that kind of humidity and temperature. So hopefully I'll be back to work here shortly, and maybe you've got a few good tips out of this. And I'll mention one more time, shout out to Gary Brinker. Go check Gary's site out. He has put out 4 great videos on tips and tricks. And I think, like I mentioned at the start of this, I mean, he went right down my list. I mean, most modelers come up with those kind of ideas, but he's boiled them down to just a few videos, and you can put those in your favorites and go back and check them periodically if you forget what the tips are. Anyway, thank you for checking in with me, and I promise you that if I can get this heating and air conditioning problem fixed, then I'll be back to work on the New Jersey here shortly. Talk to you later. Bye.